Woo child, these internet streets are getting wild, and guess what? We are getting wild with it as well because Jason Lee has a story of what he has heard allegedly that has truly happened to Jamie Foxx. And let me tell you something, Jason Lee has a lot of connection, and I am believing that what Jason Lee is saying can potentially be factual, if not very much half true. Now, I'm going to tell you why. Do you remember the story of Kim Kardashian's sugar daddy, Jolo? There's a court trial going on that involves Jolo, Leonardo, DiCaprio. Now, Jamie Foxx is to, testify, in this trial. And what Jason Lee is saying that, all of these stories about Jamie Foxx being ill, is just an attempt for Jamie Foxx to get out of this trial. Now, Jason Lee has a lot of connections, whether you guys want to believe it or not. He definitely has a lot of connections. And oftentimes, when Jason Lee says something, he's oftentimes right. And if he's not right, what he has to say is always almost half true. And additionally, ever since the story came out of Jamie Foxx, getting the vaccine allegedly and ending up with a blood clot in the brain, stroke, his daughter, Corinne, hasn't came out to dismiss anything else. So it's given the sense that, stories are being pushed around to make it seem as though Jamie Foxx is a lot more ill than he actually is, if he is, so as to get a certain effect or a certain impact. Now, during the Jason Lee show, Jason Lee is, telling it all. I'm going to play that clip for you guys, and then I'll get back with the rest of my commentary. I hope you guys are listening and listening very carefully to what Jason Lee is saying.
Heard from a source was that the week right before this stroke happened, Jamie was in court, in a federal court, sequestered with Leonardo DiCaprio and a list of other people because he was involved with a person, Praz from the Fugees, who was involved with that big scam. Now that scam involved Leonardo DiCaprio allegedly, Praz, and Kimora Simmons' husband, Tim Leisner. Now, Tim Leisner was the banker who was the person that put this whole $100 million deal together, whatever, to scam hundreds of millions of dollars, whatever. Jamie, right before this whole scandal of his stroke, was in New York or DC, I think DC, sequestered with allegedly with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tim Leisner as they were all preparing to testify against Jolo. And the allegation is that Jamie wanted to evade testifying.
Kim then met up with Jolo again a few times, just to be his companion while they played poker. And at a nightclub for his birthday, Jolo also helped to sponsor Kim Kardashian's wedding and gave Chris Humphries $100,000 as a wedding gift, and also Jolo wanted to get Kim a horse and carriage because that's the style that he wanted to see her in for the wedding. But for some reason, Kim declined. And when Kim met Ye, Ye told Kim to ask Jolo for a pretty expensive painting because Kim's was saying that Ye's argument is that if this man truly cares about you, he would truly invest in you instead of giving you, for Ye that was a small amount of cash, right? So when Kim asked Jolo for that expensive painting and to invest in her business, that's when things faded. So getting back to Jolo, Jamie Foxx, and all of that, so know what Jason Lee is saying, with Jamie Foxx, it definitely makes, you know, some sense. But again, we're not sure how factual this entire story is. But it's given the sense that what Jason Lee is saying definitely, if not entirely factual, can potentially be half true, because that trial is ongoing. A lot of people, have been subpoenaed to testify in this case. And if you remember, Kim Kardashian was also basically grilled by the FBI to answer questions against Jolo, and it is said that a lot of people in Hollywood, were connected, was connected with this man. So it's really interesting to see that Jamie Foxx is, being basically subpoenaed to testify in this case. But I don't know if we're gonna hear anything from Jamie Foxx or his daughter anytime soon. Um, but again, I have to say that everything looks suspicious, right? And we all have been saying it. We've been saying a lot of these reports aren't adding up, not making any sense. And as such, I'm leaning to believe Jason Lee. Someone has to prove me that Jason Lee is wrong about what he said, but I'm more leaning to what Jason Lee is saying about, Jamie Foxx trying not to testify in this case. I don't know why he would also scare his fans like that, because he needs to understand that even though, people on the internet may love you for a time, there are people out here who truly loves and cares for Jamie Foxx. But I also understand that Jamie Foxx loves and cares for himself even more. And if he's doing what it's been alleged that he's doing, it's just to protect himself and to, not double cross anyone or get into a real messy situation that can potentially be risky for his life, because with these people, money, connection, and power. But guys, I want to hear from you, because this is all like, you know it's just a web of confusion. But again, I have to say, some things are just not adding up. And because of that, I'm leaning to believe what Jason Lee is saying. Are you guys leaning to believe what Jason Lee is saying? I want to hear from you guys. While you're at it, give this video a big thumbs up, share if you care, and see you all next time. Bye, guys.